Hello, little curiosities. Vyxen Storm here, and tonight we're taking a trip to hell. Not the cozy fire and brimstone kind, but the cold, infinite, inky black kind, where the screams are silent and the ships come back wrong. We're talking about the 1997 cult classic Event Horizon, a movie that, bless its little heart, scared the pants off an entire generation of sci-fi fans. And maybe a few executives who weren't ready for a spaceship made of pure nightmare fuel. If you've ever wanted to write a truly terrifying sci-fi horror story, one that blends cosmic dread with good old-fashioned slasher guts, then you've come to the right place. I've analyzed the anatomy of this descent into madness and distilled it into 3 essential lessons and 5 ironclad rules for writing your own journey to the abyss. Stay with me until the end for a quick cheat sheet recap, so dim the lights, perhaps grab a fluffy tail to hide behind, and let's get curious and very, very scared. Event Horizon is, on its surface, a simple rescue mission. The Lewis and Clark is sent to find the missing research vessel Event Horizon, which vanished 7 years prior. Sounds straightforward, right? Except the missing ship didn't just vanish. It tore a hole in space-time and paid a little visit to a dimension of pure, unadulterated suffering. And, darling, it brought something back with it. The genius of this movie isn't just the gore, it's the writing, the slow, agonizing reveal of a universe that doesn't just not care about humanity, it actively hates it. Now, let's break down the mechanics of this descent, starting with our first lesson. The greatest sci-fi descents don't happen on a planet. They happen in a space, or a machine, that was designed to be safe. That's the first lesson. The environment must be a paradox. In Event Horizon, the ship itself is the monster. It's beautiful, sleek, and terrifying. When Dr. Weir first reveals the gravity drive is a kind of gateway, the tension comes from the fact that the answer isn't a place, but an experience. Your hell needs to be external and terrifyingly real, in this case, an alien dimension. But the horror needs to be internal and personal. The ship becomes a vessel for the crew's personal grief, guilt, and darkest desires. This is where we introduce Rule 3. Isolation is your greatest asset. The moment they are stranded on the derelict ship, their options vanish. They can't call for help. They can't run. Geographic isolation amplifies psychological pressure, forcing the horror to be internalized. When the lights flicker and they see a bloody glimpse of the past, they aren't just seeing a ghost. They are witnessing a memory being weaponized against them. That brings us to Rule 1. Always show, never tell the horror. You can tell me the ship is evil, or you can show Peters being lured to her death by a hallucination of her son. Another example, the brief, flashing montage of the Event Horizon's crew slaughtering each other is far more effective than an hour of exposition. Our second lesson is to replace science with theology. Most good sci-fi gives you rules. Bad sci-fi ignores them. Great sci-fi starts with rules and then deliberately breaks them with something transcendent. Weir's initial equation is based on physics. Fold space, travel instantly. That's the science. The shift happens when they realize what the gravity drive really is, not a machine of science, but an idol of worship for a dimension outside of human comprehension. To keep this transcendent horror effective, you must adhere to Rule 5. Keep the demon mysterious. We never see the actual hell dimension. We only see the horrible effects it has on those who pass through it. As soon as you give the hell a name, a shape, and a motive, it becomes understandable, and therefore it stops being scary. The ship operates on the logic of madness, and as the crew is consumed, their physical bodies reflect the spiritual collapse. This is Rule 2. The body horror must be symbolic. Dr. Weir gouges out his own eyes, not just a cheap shock, but a symbolic act of rejecting the physical world in favor of his new, terrifying spiritual sight. The violence must serve the theme of the collapse of the self. By shifting the conflict from "can we fix the ship" to "can we save our souls," you elevate the story from a haunted house in space to a truly mythological descent. Finally, lesson number 3. The protagonist must be the catalyst. Captain Miller is our grounded, pragmatic hero, but the story's true heart, the catalyst, is Dr. Weir. Weir is the Faustian bargain made flesh. He created the machine, he knows the truth, and eventually he becomes the very thing the crew is fighting. Their ambition is what dooms the others. And when he finally succumbs, he delivers the ultimate chilling invitation. Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see. Your writers must sacrifice their catalyst. Let them become the terrifying truth they sought. However, the hero cannot leave unscarred. The sacrifice must be incomplete. This is Rule 4. The hero must fail to stop the evil completely. Miller ultimately sacrifices himself to save the others, detonating the event horizon to stop the spread of the evil. But the final scene, that quick flash of Stark seeing Dr. Weir's face, proves that a piece of the corruption has been retained. The hero doesn't need to win the war. They only need to win the battle for a handful of souls. The threat of the infection must linger. The journey to hell is supposed to change you forever, darling, and usually not for the better. And now, to wrap up this video, here is your cheat sheet for how to write a sci-fi descent into hell. 3 essential lessons. 1. Build the hell, then bring it home. Your environment must be a paradox, a safe space turned predatory. 2. The logic of madness. Start with science, then replace it with the theological and unknowable. 3. The price of knowledge. Your catalyst must pay for the truth, and the hero must be scarred by it. 5 Ironclad rules. Rule 1. Always show, never tell the horror. Rule 2. The body horror must be symbolic. Rule 3. Isolation is your greatest asset. Rule 4. The hero must fail to stop the evil completely. Rule 5. Keep the demon mysterious. And there we have it, my dears. We've dissected the anatomy of another sci-fi masterpiece, one of my all-time favorites. From the claustrophobic dread of the Lewis and Clark to the agonizing, screaming void of the event horizon, we learned that a true descent into hell requires more than just scary monsters. It requires a character who is willing to look into the abyss and a machine that is willing to look back. If you enjoyed this trip through the darkness, please take a second to like this video. It helps the channel reach more curious minds. Comment below and tell me your favorite Event Horizon scare. And of course, subscribe for more Dead Curious episodes. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, little curiosities. Stay curious. Stay scared.